the faithful adaptation, the mature Bond, the tragic love story, the misunderstood classic, the one that only real Bond fans appreciate. None of that holds up under any scrutiny, because On Her Majesty's Secret Service is not underrated, it's not misunderstood, it's actually criminally overrated, and it survives on regurgitated talking points. Let's start with one of the biggest claims, that this film is faithful to the book. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of the films deviate from the books quite severely, looking at you, Moonraker. But this one above the rest I find is always brought up as being the most faithful adaptation to any of the books. But after reading the novel myself, I find that's not actually true. To me, the film doesn't adapt the story very faithfully whatsoever. It flattens it, it rearranges it, and betrays the motivations of its characters, while keeping just enough surface details to pretend it did the work. Like, even Tracy's introduction is so much worse. In the book, Bond is forcefully collected with her by her father's henchmen. On that boat ride back, both Bond and Tracy lean into each other, he gives her his jacket, there's intimacy, there's vulnerability, and starting of a meaningful connection. The film removes all of that. Instead, Tracy is just chased by goons like it's a routine action cold open. No tenderness, no quiet bonding, no reason for us to believe that this relationship is anything more than the script telling us it's important. And that problem never really goes away. The love story is rushed, it's unnatural, it lacks depth. In the book, her suicide letter describes Bond as calm, grounding, and stabilizing. In the film, that emotional foundation doesn't exist. And it doesn't help that the actress openly hated Lazenby, because that lack of chemistry is visible in every scene, which ultimately brings us to Lazenby himself. There's this narrative that he just needed more films to grow into the role. That argument makes no sense. Connery didn't need it, Moore didn't need it, Dalton didn't need it, Brosnan didn't need it, certainly not, and Craig didn't need it. They arrived as Bond, and Lazenby didn't. And no amount of hypotheticals changes what's on screen. In fact, Lazenby feels like he would have fit better in the 1967 Casino Royale. You know, like the psychedelic shit show, he would have been perfect. You know, because that film is tonally confused, awkward, and performative, which makes it a better match for him. Now let's jump back to the book again real quick. The film removes Bond telling Tracy's father that she should go to Switzerland for therapy. That's no small omission, that's a massive character moment. It shows Bond's restraint, his concern, his understanding of her fragility, and it defines why he falls for her, and the film cuts all of that completely. Then there's Blofeld, which I do generally think the actor did a great job, and he's actually one of my favorite portrayals, if I'm being honest. But what seems contrived about the whole plot is just Bond going undercover as Sir Hilary in this. It doesn't work, because Blofeld has already seen Bond's face, and you only live twice. They've already met, so the tension is gone before the scene even starts. And the book just handles Bond going undercover so much better. Like the scene where the spy accidentally calls him James, and Bond just seemingly brushes it all off. You know, Bond and Blofeld are talking, and then everything seems okay. He goes back to his room and he starts to wonder, he starts to worry. What if the spy breaks under interrogation? How much time does he possibly have? And it leads to probably the most thrilling part of the book. The film just guts all of it. It's completely butchered. The escape sequence right after is another example. The book handles Bond's escape down the mountain as a perilous journey, but the film rearranges and flattens these scenes, losing the tension and the cleverness of most of the original book moments. Like in the escape, gone is the avalanche, gone are the henchmen killed by snow clearing equipment and a fucking skiing pole. That only happens in the completely unnecessary second skiing chase, which exists solely so Tracy can be captured. I'm gonna bring up Die Another Day again. Everybody dumps on the green screen and surfing in that movie, but why are we also radio silent on the bobsled chase in this movie? It looks so fake. And yet somehow that gets a pass? Nobody talks about that? But back on the point here. The film skips the Christmas Day discovery of Blofeld's plan entirely. Instead of unraveling the mystery before our eyes, it just kind of explains it all through flat dialogue. And then Bond doesn't even ask Tracy's father to help assault the lab as a wedding gift. One of the most personal points in the novel. The assault on the lab is necessary because it's Tracy being kidnapped, so of course they're going to go. But it loses all the personal edge that made the book so endearing. Even Tracy's death, as famous as it was, feels neutered compared to the book, because the relationship shown on screen was never earned. Yes, the music is absolutely excellent. Yes, the wintry scenery is beautiful. That doesn't make up for such weak storytelling. This film survives because people are told it's important. But honesty in this case matters more than legacy. On Her Majesty's Secret Service is not a misunderstood masterpiece. It's a rushed, flattened adaptation with a miscast Bond, a hollow love story, and tension that's been stripped out where it mattered the most. If you like it, you like it. But don't be shocked when others don't share your opinion. Thanks for watching, guys.